Mario Kart 8 came out in 2014 on the Wii U, had a DLC expansion in 2015, and then all that was ported to the Nintendo Switch at launch in 2017. This was a smart but also an obvious no-brainer move for Nintendo, as it helped with the Switch's launch and gave Mario Kart 8 a new life with sales numbers of around 50 million copies. For a while, many players including myself got bored of the game and felt that the time to launch a new Mario Kart game was overdue. Nintendo, however, had other plans, as in February of 2022 they announced a booster Course Pass DLC for a nearly 8-year-old game at the time. We would essentially be getting 48 courses coming in 6 separate ways that contained 8 courses, from March 2022 to the end of 2023. Now that all waves have been released, I'd like to discuss what this Booster Course Pass DLC has meant to me as a day one Mario Kart 8 player way back in 2014, and what it has done for the game overall. I'd like to start off by saying that I am very grateful that we got something like this at all to begin with. My friends and I regularly play Mario Kart 8 as a part of the rotation on every weekly game night that we have, and we were getting very bored of playing the same 48 courses all the time. What makes this even better is that we got 48 courses, which doubled the course count for this game to a total of 96 courses, all for the reasonable price of $25. Nintendo essentially doubled the amount of game we got for less than half the cost of a full price game. Now that is DLC done right. As great as the value is for this DLC, there are many things that this DLC falls short on in my opinion. Let's start with the distribution of the courses we get from other entries in the Mario Kart series, as it is very uneven. We get 14 tour courses, 4 from the 3DS, 2 from the N64, 8 from the Wii, 4 from the DS, 2 from the SNES, 5 from the Game Boy Advance, 3 from the GameCube, and 6 totally new courses. As we can see, we get a lot of tour courses on this one, and I am honestly not happy with that at all. I believe that we shouldn't have gotten a single tour course in this booster pass. I like courses to be imaginative and creative, and although the tour courses do have some of that, they are very limited by the places they are based on. They can also be very difficult to distinguish from one another as you play through multiple of them, such as London Loop, Berlin Byways, Paris Promenade, and New York Minute. What makes all this worse, however, is not that we just got tour courses, but that we got a whopping 14 of them, more than any other entry in the Mario Kart series in the context of this booster pass. Imagine if that number was instead slashed in half to 7, so that the games that we didn't get a whole lot of entries like Double Dash, Mario Kart DS, Mario Kart 7, Mario Kart 64 could have had that instead. It would have been a better distributed course selection that would have for sure pleased more fans. When we look at previous Mario Kart games that did not get much representation in this booster pass, it also becomes apparent that the course selection was very questionable with them. We got Toad Circuit when we could have gotten Shy Guy Bazaar. We got Shroom Ridge when we could have gotten Airship Fortress. We got Daisy Circuit when we could have gotten Toad Factory, and we got Waluigi Stadium when we could have gotten Dino Jungle. It's not that Waluigi Stadium is bad or anything, but we already have a similar course to it in Wario Stadium. Nonetheless, the booster pass could have been full of bangers, but instead each cup has some combination of good, bad, and meh courses. It's such a shame, as this was supposed to be the final hurrah for Mario Kart 8. Uneven distribution and questionable course selection aside, all of the brand new courses are really good for the most part. This is largely due to them having unique themes and layouts, and several different routes and shortcuts. Good examples of this include Ninja Hideaway and Piranha Plant Cove, and a not so good example of this would be Sky High Sundae, with its overly simplistic loop design and dessert theme that is a bit too similar to Sweet Sweet Canyon. What I ideally would have liked to see is these new courses be based on other Nintendo games. We did get Yoshi's Island, but it would have been nicer to get something a bit more out there, kind of like how we got Hyrule Circuit, Mute City, and Animal Crossing in the first ever DLC for Mario Kart 8. That aside, I am mostly happy with what we got for the new courses. Another thing I enjoyed seeing, even though it wasn't done for every retro course, was a bit of a remix or overhaul for the retro courses. Switching things up in Calamari Desert and letting players go in the train tunnel, and reversing the entire final lap over in Peach Gardens were very welcome changes to courses that were already good but are now fantastic. It's a shame that it wasn't done for more courses, but I will take what we can get here. To give Nintendo credit where credit is due, it is apparent that they improved the booster course pass as the waves kept coming along. A lot of the earlier waves contained courses that felt like cheap reskins, but were then updated properly, such as the moving cars in Coconut Mall. Also, the courses did seem to get better as well with each wave. I believe the last wave for sure was the best. In the context of the last wave, the tour courses, although unwelcome, didn't seem too bad and felt unique. All the retro courses were really good as well in the last wave, except for Daisy Circuit, and of course Piranha Plant was an excellent new course to get. In spite of there being too many tour courses, an uneven distribution of retro courses, some questionable choices for what courses were going to be included, and some courses just feeling like cheap reskins, I am just grateful that we got this to begin with. Here's to many years of more Mario Kart 8 and anticipation for the next Mario Kart game. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.